Are you ready?
Yeah. Let's go.
Feeling ready? Feeling nervous?
Yeah, I haven't done something like this in a while.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to episode 2 of Experience Gained. Today we have Archr. If you guys don't know Archr, Archr is an incredibly strong Summoners War player. He's been playing for a really long time, big part of SSA, and also was an SWC contendant at one point. So tell us about yourself.
Hey guys, well, it's been a while. My name's Archr. Probably a lot of new people don't really know me. I was like I was in the first SWC and the second one, I think, and then the Guild War one. So anything after that, I haven't really been part of because I did quit for a while. But I did just come back because of a lot of interesting things that Comtos has been doing.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I reached out to you, because I wanted your opinion on a lot of how you feel about returning to the game, why you returned to the game, as well as what made you leave. So, I mean, overall, before we get into that, I do want to put out your social medias there. So you stream on Twitch, you stream Summoners War, and you also do Pokemon Breaks. Is there anything else you do social media wise or on any other platforms?
No, I mostly do Twitch. I have a YouTube, but it's not really active. So if you guys just want to follow me on the Twitch,
Link
it's
below.
just
Always be there.
twitch.tv/Archr, no E.
Yeah, no E, just ARCHR. So, as well, if you guys do like the series, there is other episodes, so make sure to check out the playlist that this one's included in. Okay, so let's get right into it. My first question for you, and the topic that I want to know, and I want to know for most people, is how did you get into Summoners War? What got you into it? Who got you into it? Tell me about it.
Okay, the game's what, 7 years old now, right?
Yeah, we're pushing 7-year anniversary soon. 2 months for the 7-year anniversary in Korea.
Okay, so 7 years ago, I think I was single and really bored. Just I was like, just got out of college, I think, where just starting work and I had a lot of free time. So my friend was like, my real life friend was like, hey, there's this game called Summoners War. You should really try it out. And I was like, okay. And that time, I think the only games I was playing was Puzzles and Dragons, which was like the first gotcha game I've ever played.
P&D is so good. P&D is so good. I played the Tower of Saviors, which was like the more fantasy side of the same game.
Oh yeah,
same
I heard of that game. Never played it though.
Yeah, those are both really good games though. Really, really good games. I want a new game to come out, kind of like Puzzles and Dragons. Like fresh.
Yeah, because I think that genre is kind of like dying. The whole like Bejeweled, But yeah, it was like my first gotcha, and then it was a lot of fun. But little did I know, like Summoners War, like I had a lot more disposable income, right, when I was single. So we would just do a bunch of drunk summoning and just summon for fun. Basically, we didn't even really play the game. We were just summoning. It was more of like a summon. Yeah.
Okay, if you were rolling summons, what was your first NAV 5?
The first NAV 5, I think, was Ritesh.
Dude, Ritesh was a god back then too. Ritesh giant solo, yeah.
Probably why I got hooked, yeah.
If you got Ritesh, you were like, ooh, I can do giants. Arena's easy. Everything's easy.
Guild War was the best for Ritesh.
Yeah. All right, first LE NAV 5 and what year?
Gianna. It was during a Jubiggle stream. It was like one of his Saturday night summons or whatever. I popped in his channel and I was summoning with him, and then I forgot what year. I have a picture of it, but it was insane.
It was early on though, right? Because you had Gianna for a really long time.
Yeah, it was a really long time ago. Yeah, nice. I have a picture somewhere.
Yeah. So I digress from the topic. We were talking about, you got into the you were young, single at the time, disposable income, you were summoning for fun. So what about the game made you stay though? Because I know a lot of people that like they get into it, they like spend a ton summoning and they never really progress. Like they don't farm runes, they don't do anything, and the game gets boring. So what kept you going in the game?
There are a lot of reasons that kept me going. Like I think in the beginning I was playing because I was really addicted to it. Like it was just so much fun. I never played anything like Summoners War. I was a huge gamer. I played all types of games 24/7, and Summoners War was something that really, really caught me for some reason. It was competitive. There was a community. Like games back then there weren't really big communities. Like Dota might have had one where you join a channel and then you just play against each other, right? Or Counter-Strike, there's you use IRC to scrim each other. But Summers War is the first one where there's like a crazy community where you get to know every single player and your guild and things like that. I think the only other game that was kind of similar was like Clash of Clans, maybe. But
My
yeah,
first thought would
Summers
be
War
like
was
MMOs,
so much fun.
like WoW or like Guild Wars and stuff like that. Like those kind of games, I could feel that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, WoW also has a community. Definitely. That's
Mhm.
another game I binged like crazy on.
Yeah, so you started to get addicted to the game. You loved it. You started farming. I mean, clearly, you made the path somewhere because you became an SWC contendant. So like, how did you kind of get into the more competitive aspect of the game? Like, was it through friends? Was it through people in game? Something just what was your motivating factor for like really excelling at the game? Because you reached a level that most players will never be able to reach, and I mean that's a pretty
Um,
significant milestone.
the main reason was that there's so much money in it, right? So we were invested in it financially and emotionally. So I think right when it really ticked, it was when I got Gianna, because I didn't first season I didn't have Gianna, and then I was like G2 player, and then second season when I got Gianna, it was like easy G3 because like my despair runes were faster than people's swift sets. It was like I think my despair set was probably like 180 back then, and then that was like really ridiculous.
Yeah,
And
yeah, that was ridiculous back then. That's pretty fast now even.
yeah, so I think just having Gianna was basically like a cheat code, right? So it's like I had an unfair advantage over other people. It was kind of like having Tableau season one.
Oh,
So I had like
ugh.
Gianna, right? So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna keep going, and then started streaming because I started a family, right?
Mhm.
So my wife really wanted me to stay at home, and a great way for me to do that was streaming, and she was really a part of my streams as well. Like so, she really liked it too. She thought it was like really fun, so we just kept going from there, and it just bloomed into SWC, um, visiting Com to us, being part of their streams, and uh, what it is now.
I see, I see. Well, that's good. I'm glad that she's like really supportive of your career and everything. I know that for a lot of people, like streaming is not something that people's families are generally supportive of. So like to hear that is actually really heartwarming for me. And I'm glad that she's so invested
Yeah,
both in your happiness and in the things you enjoy doing. I think it's
yeah,
really important. It's
definitely.
very
I
endearing.
mean, I never took the full leap into full time streaming. So I don't know. I know you and Island and Childish, I think, like really dove in like full time streaming, and Bagel and YD. Like I think if I was single, for sure I would have dove in like hardcore, like 100,000%. But because
Yeah.
I have a family and things to provide, it was a little bit harder for me. So I do try to stream as much as I can, but definitely couldn't go 100%.
No, I agree. It's definitely it's a big leap. That's a really big leap. For those of you guys who don't know, full time streaming is like owning your own business, but worse because it's not this like you get out what you put in or even at a remote level. It's like you put a lot of work in and you just hope people are like supportive enough of it.
Yeah, I mean it's really good. I think Summersworth did a really good job because of you, like all you guys full time streamers. I think with Summersworth streaming, it's really back and forth. Like the hardest
Mm-hmm.
thing about streaming is like you're always scared, like you're just talking to yourself or there's nobody there, right?
Yeah.
But with Summersworth, there's always so many questions going on, and
There's so much to talk about and so much to do. Even if it's the same thing over and over, there's always someone new who wants something and you can help them. And I mean, that's one of the greatest feelings. Just someone pops in your stream. They're like, I have no idea how to do this. You're like, I got you. Give me like 5 minutes. I got you.
exactly right.
Right.
You feel good being able to pass on knowledge, even though it's for a game, but still.
Mm-hmm. It's nice because you kind of people become very passionate about it, right? Summoners War is one of those games where I feel like it becomes more than a game to a lot of people. It becomes a passion, it becomes a hobby, it becomes a part of their life, and they really enjoy improving at it and helping others and getting help from others, right? They enjoy knowing that they're not the only ones who feel that way about the game. I think that's one of the
Yeah.
coolest things.
Before we go on, since like a lot of these has been kind of generic, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's always like, oh, everybody loves Summer's War, things like that, and we try to help you. But can I tell you why my first impression of you.
Okay, yeah, I gotta hear this. I gotta hear
Okay,
this.
this is my first impression of you. Like I didn't know because you stream really late, and I sleep early, right? You're
Yeah,
right. So
I'm a late night kind of guy.
yeah, there's this one time, uh, I forgot. It was years and years ago. Okay, it was like your birthday, I think, right?
Okay.
It was a birthday summoning session, and I've never seen you stream before. This is my first stream of you ever. Okay, do you remember you did like a bunch of summons and LD summons? Do you remember that?
Oh, for Vindy.
No, it's for you.
It's for me. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Was it my
Okay.
first LD Lightning?
No, you didn't get any. You didn't get anything. You got no lightning. You're so mad. You're so mad. I remember you're drinking like crazy.
Oh
And
yeah,
I've never
I used to
seen,
drink so much back then. Holy. Ooh.
yeah, and I've never seen like a drunk stream before. Like I didn't even know you were allowed to drink on Twitch, right?
Yeah.
So you're drinking like a shot per. I don't even remember. It was like just insane amount. And I was like, is this guy really drinking,
It
or
was
is
probably
he like?
I think it was a shot every 4 lightning or a shot every 3 lightning. Every LD was a shot, every nat 5 was a shot.
Yeah, you're just pounding it, and I
Yeah,
was like, oh wait, this guy put water in his soju or something like that. Like this is like I was thinking like, is this guy really drinking that much? Like it was crazy, and then you got really sad, and then that was when I was like, oh shit, okay, oh shoot, sorry, maybe he really is drinking because it was. I don't know
I
if
was
you're
so
like
sad.
borderline crying. Do you remember that?
I was so sad. I was like,
I
why?
know. I was
Why?
like, oh my god, this guy's insane because I've never seen you stream before. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, this guy's out of his mind. But it was super entertaining. And I was watching till like 2 in the morning. I was all like, dude, this guy's nuts. That was my first impression of you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because I've like, as well as like growing as a person, like my streaming career and like my streaming, like the things I've changed in my life, like my rules, for example, have adjusted so much over the years that like looking back a couple of years ago at like the things I used to do on stream or like the things I used to say on stream, it's just like, wow, I'm a whole different person now. It's just like,
Yeah,
but it's crazy to think that that was only like a couple years ago. Like a couple years ago, I was slamming like two or three bottles of soju a night, like twice a week,
that's insane.
because we just why not, right? Like I used to take summon requests, and the rule was if you give me your summons and you have more than 300, for every 5 lightnings, I'll take 1 shot.
Jesus.
Just because I was bored and I wanted to summon for people, and I didn't want to pay for summons myself, and I was like, soju's cheap. I like soju.
Wait, how old are you?
I'm 25.
Oh my god, you're so young.
I'm
Yeah, you were doing that probably right when you hit 21.
Well, see, I live in Canada, so it's 18.
Oh,
I
okay,
get
okay.
18, yeah.
That
So
makes sense.
yeah, I've been streaming for about just over 6 years now. Yeah, no,
Okay.
just over 5 years, 5 and a bit years now.
So you start with Summer's War?
I did not start with Summoners War, actually. I started with Fallout. I streamed Fallout because, okay, so quick story for that. When I first started watching Twitch, I was watching these 2 streamers, CS:GO streamers in, one lived in Auckland and one lived in New Zealand and one lived in Australia. And both of them were like, you should stream, because I joined one of their games one time for Counter-Strike, and they're like, you have a radio voice, like you should try streaming. So I did, and then their whole community watched me, and then I just fell in love with streaming, and it was just like a match made in
You
heaven.
do have a really good radio voice.
Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, so I did that, dabbled in a little bit of like artwork. I did a little bit of traditional art. And then I found Summoners War, and I was like, this is the game. This is the game. This is so much fun. This is the game. And I used to farm giants for 15 hours a day on stream. And that was the life. I would sit in Discord calls with like Naz, if you remember Naz.
No, I don't.
Baxi Love.
Okay, yeah.
So I used to sit in Discord calls with Vindy and Bomber and like everything. Just 14 hours a day. We just sit in Discord calls and like stream.
Remember Bendy and Bomber? Yep.
Well, those were the days. Those are the days. Yeah. Oh man, the first time you ever watched my stream, I was just hammered and plastered.
It was
That's
so
crazy.
funny. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. It's
But it was a
crazy.
great
I mean,
stream,
I've
really
tamed
awesome.
myself a little bit since then. Except for SWC. SWC, we go a little ham. We go a little ham at SWC.
Yeah, I always have my family with me, so I never really go ham. I can't. But it's always fun bringing them for
One of
sure.
these days. But yeah, no, it's good. It's good. Yeah. So speaking of that, we were talking about. I just mentioned SWC. You did go to SWC. a lot of things changed, a lot of things happened, a lot of rumors, etc. But I want to know from you. I want to know why you took a break from the game, why you decided to quit. What happened? Because everyone's like, oh, Archr did this or this happened and this happened. I'm like, I'm not gonna confirm anything until Archr tells me himself. Like, I don't believe anything that you guys are saying. I got to hear it from the source.
There's two reasons. You want both,
I
or
want
just
both.
the GC?
I want both.
All right, we'll go with the more tame, the more real reason, right? So, like I said, I have more disposable income to be competitive back in the day, right? So I would spend like, I think it was $2,000 a month if you wanted all the LD scrolls and like and some other packages. The ones that were important. I think
Yeah,
it
it was
was
like
like
LDs, re-apps for impacts, and then
yeah.
like
I
monthly
don't think
packs and
re-ups
stuff.
were available back then for the 2,000 a month. But sorry.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
That's one of the reasons, right? So I had to invest my money in other things, right? So to do like maybe stocks or invest in their college funds, and obviously my wife now. I like um, so it was just my income had to be dispersed somewhere else other than the game, and that's why I think I just knew like I wouldn't continue to be competitive where I'm like top 30 or something like that, like every month, or every season. So that's one of the more realistic reasons. The other one is I guess I was pretty immature or entitled in thinking where, so Complex told me if I did a meetup, they would bring a bunch of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've never done something like this. Like, I'm shy until like if you get to know me, then yeah, I'm super outgoing. But like I don't really like to ask people of anything. Like I feel bad for people driving like an hour or 2 hours to come like meet me in like a cafe or like a boat place, right? So but I did it because at that time I was really into streaming. Like I really liked going to Complex headquarters. I really liked doing giveaways and things like that. So when I did this meetup, it took a lot of work, right, to schedule a meetup, and
Was
it
this
took
the
a lot.
meetup that Topa went to as well? I think
Uh,
Topa and Celtic Rowan both went to this meetup, if I recall correctly. I think I know which one you're talking about. It was
I
in.
know a lot of people were like Thompson, Roman, like
Was Burke there?
Burke.
Yeah, or did he
Burke,
quit the game
Burke,
before that?
Burke was right next to me, so it was easy for him. Yeah,
Okay,
Burke and I
okay.
are basically neighbors. It's hilarious.
Well, that's
Like
pretty cool. I had no idea.
yeah, Burke's also a really funny guy, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he's probably also an OG that hasn't really been playing, but
Yeah. Sorry.
um,
Continue your story. My apologies.
no. So I was like, so back in the day, if I got mad or if I have a grudge or something like that, I take it really personally. I don't know why. There's no reason why. They weren't obligated to give me anything basically,
Mm-hmm.
but I just went. I did the meetup in the like I assumed basically they did tell me they would bring a lot of stuff, right? Um, but when the meetup happened, they kind of like came with nothing except like pins, I think. And then I found out another streamer came like a day before me, and then they gave all the stuff to him. I don't want to say the streamer, but
Mm-hmm.
um, I got kind of mad because I don't like promising other people something and then not delivering. It kind of makes me look bad, or like I just made it up so people would come to this meetup. But I didn't even want to really do it. But to for the community, for the game, I didn't mind because that time I love meeting. It's scary meeting new people, but I wanted to try it, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's what happened, and at the time I was kind of upset, but when I look back onto it now, like I was being so childish, and like I had so much fun, like meeting them. So why did I care about like if they promised to bring
Yeah.
goods for others?
Yeah. Like, so, like, why did you let that small issue kind of overtake the fact that you still had a lot of fun and it was a good event and
Yes,
you enjoyed
exactly.
yourself and stuff. I feel that. I feel that. I can definitely relate to like kind of being petty in the past and stuff. I mean, we all make mistakes as we grow up and as we do things and we regret things, but it's
Yeah,
important. It's important to know like that you can say like in the past, you know, I did this and I think that was really petty, and I'm glad that I've grown from there, right? Like there are a lot of people out there who will never be able to do that, who will never be able to say like, you know, that was something that I did and I regret that and that was a bad choice and I take responsibility for that. A lot of people will be like, you know what, it was their fault. I have nothing. I did nothing wrong. It was their fault, and I don't know. It's
yeah.
just cool to see that
And
like
I,
you can move
I
on.
I actually really love the Confla staff, like all of them. Like I used to just bash on them for fun, for content, but they're all super super duper nice, and they actually do try to help you as much as they can.
Mm.
And yeah, at that time I was just too immature.
Yeah, it happens though. It happens. Yeah, so I guess that led you to the break, the culmination of all things together, you know, not being able to be nearly as competitive. I understand that feeling too, like when you go from being like the best of the best and you're like, if I can't continue to like put in the effort to be there, like do I even want to play the game? Like do I want to be remembered as a legend or do I want to like be washed up, you know, like me. You could be washed up like me.
Hey, I'm washed up now, so it's all
Yeah, we're all that washed up club. But yeah, so I totally understand that thought, and no, I think what you did was the right choice. I mean, obviously subjective, but I think you made a great choice. And overall, I mean, you're still here. We're doing this now, and everything seems to be pretty good.
yeah. I came back because of the Street Fighter collab. Like I thought
Ooh,
that was actually really cool.
good choice, right?
Yeah, like
Capcom is a great franchise. They have so much cool stuff.
yeah, exactly. So they played on like our childhood again, right? Like Street Fighter is really nostalgic, and they made Street Fighter into Summoners War units. Like that's insane. It's actually crazy, and like unfortunately they weren't OP, but
But now, they're pretty good.
yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty good, but yeah, I think they made it okay. Like they balanced it pretty decently. Like they're not super crazy, but they're also very useful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I guess I mean we jumped right into it, but topic 3, that's why you came back. Like it was the collaboration. There was nothing else, no other factors to it.
Yeah, like I was gone from the game for like 2 years, I
Yeah,
think.
you were gone for a
And
long time. You were gone
yeah,
for a
and
very long
then
time.
I saw the Street Fighter thing, and I was like, oh my god, like I have to try it. I have to try it. Like I can't. So yeah, and then I dove in, and I definitely missed the community. Um, I love talking to some of the old people that used to come to my stream, right? And it's just awesome being able to talk to them again because I haven't talked to them in a long time. I spent like the pandemic playing World of Warcraft, right? So
Yeah,
uh,
I noticed you were streaming World of Warcraft every once in a while, so I'd pop in and be like, "Oh, yo, what's going on?" Like, I haven't seen you
yeah, and
around. Hope things are
yeah,
okay.
it's really like when I play a game, I was just really hardcore into it. So when I was playing WoW, like not like I was just all WoW, right? But then after I quit, like because of Street Fighter, I was like, oh man, I love playing this game again. Like Street Fighter
Yeah.
makes it so cleaving is a little bit more fun because of the water review.
Mm-hmm, for sure. Yeah, so I guess if you came back for the Street Fighter collab, you didn't come back during the Shift update, which was when Artifacts came out and stuff. You came out after that, right?
Yeah, so that's the hard part. I came back afterwards. So like all these artifacts are insane. Like they
Yeah,
make units
they're
that
nuts.
don't make any sense. Like OP, right? Like Juno can
Mhm.
solo a whole team now. Camilla can also do that now. I'm just so confused because I'm like, oh, I got this in the bag. Like it's 4-on-1. It's over. And then all of a sudden I literally get soloed
Then you
and
get
I'm
one
like,
forward.
yeah, I'm like this game, what just happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's some crazy stuff out there now. Like the ability to amp up a single unit to a really high degree is crazy. Like even with luck, right? Like when you include the luck, like I had a Trevor 1v4 against Helena Ragdoll team.
You
It's
use
like
Trevor?
I use Trevor. Yeah, Trevor's my anti-Leo unit.
Oh,
Yeah, anytime somebody picks Leo, I slam down Trevor because that the unit is bonkers. Like he's so good.
ooh.
He's so I'll show you the build. It's really nice. I was really hard carried by Barbara when I pulled her. And so I figured out that everyone will pick Leo against me. So the strat was just build against Leo. So I built Feng Yan no
Yeah,
speed, Trevor no speed, Perna no speed. And I'm building a second Miho with no speed as well. And I'm building the Miho to be high HP to survive bombs. So people who
that's
pick
actually
Sierra Leo can't kill me.
yeah. See, that's another thing. The meta has changed, and I'm just starting to catch up. Like I noticed there's a Leo Verd Juno in every single game, and then I'm noticing like
Yup.
yeah, I saw like Topa the other day, and he has a team specifically for Leos. Like he has like
Yep.
these no speed units,
Yep.
and I was like, because yeah, I'm like, dude, everybody picks Leo, and I keep losing. I don't know how to counter this damn Leo, but I guess there's actually full on teams to counter that. It's
Yeah. Because
like you
if they
said,
pick Leo, you don't have to ban it, right?
yeah, because I'm banning Leo every time. They get like free. They get like 4 free picks.
Yeah.
I'm like, ugh.
And but the other way around is like if you build a Leo team where you play with Leo, they can ban your Leo. So that's why you just let the enemy pick Leo for you.
Yeah,
Right?
that's smart.
So
I'll
like
have
you
to
pick
do
like
that.
Sierra Barb or something, and then they're just like they pick Leo, and you're just like cool. Now I get Feng Yan Trevor, or I get like Verd Juno, or like Verd Rika or something. Right? You just get these crazy compositions you can throw in.
That's smart. I'm definitely gonna do that. Yeah, because
Mm-hmm.
I saw like Topa had like a 0 speed to Sarian with like something else. I think it was Perna maybe, or maybe I'm wrong, but something else with like no speed. I was
Brandy.
like
He has a
hilarious.
Brandy, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so I guess another question, since like with the return, like how did you feel trying to figure out what all the units did again? Because like there are a lot of units in the game, and a lot of units got changed over those 2 years too. Like a lot of units got changed over those 2 years.
Man, I feel so washed like learning these units again, and like I'm hard stuck on C2 C3. Like I cannot get the red star. I'm like so embarrassed, but it's like, man, this
It
game
takes
has
time.
changed so much, and it's fun. It's fun. Like the thing I hate using though is Verd Juno, but I feel like every time I use Verd Juno, it's auto. It's like the auto win. But
It's good for
I
sure.
hate playing like that, so I'm trying to see how we can beat these Verd Juno Leo teams. I need to step it
Water
up here.
Ryu. Water Ryu kills Bird and Juno fairly well. You
But
have
water really doesn't do enough damage, does it?
depends on how you build it. Depends on how you build it. But some people can. I know that like maybe it depends on the unit compositions you have, but there are some people who can use him to murder Junos. He's pretty good. He does attack break, but at the same time he also gets a million turns.
The thing I do is I'm always like 5 offensive units and like 0 support, and my offensive units are like 0 HP. So it's like if they proc violent one time or if they resist something, it's basically I lose, right?
I
So
usually do 3 and 2 or 4 and 1. Almost always aggressive. I don't pick any immunity units. Um, and I don't
I
think I
need
have any
2
cleansers
1.
either.
I need 1 support somewhere in there. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's like you'll see a lot of like Oki, because like Oki's like support, but he also does a ton of damage, and he's CC.
Yeah, what's with Oki? He does like with no arm breaking, he can do like 50% HP to you.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know if anyone told you how additional damage artifacts work yet.
I just learned. I just
Yeah.
learned.
So they multi-hit and they ignore defense.
They ignore defense?
Yeah, they're true damage.
I didn't know that. I
So
just
okay.
thought.
So for the way I showed it to like explain it to somebody was I said, okay, my Sierra has 800 additional damage. So I skill one a Amelia with defense buff with no debuffs or anything. I was hitting it for like 1.3k or something. Oh no. Here's what it was. I had the artifacts on. They attack broke me, glancing, and defense buff. And speed down. And I think I was hitting her for like 800 a hit. And then I took the artifacts off, and for the exact same setup, I was hitting like 75, 200, 140. I was like, yeah, this is the difference between artifacts and non-artifacts. Like they're insane. So Oki hits 4 to 6 times per target on skill 3, and it's just like, okay, my Oki has 300% additional damage by speed. Have fun doing an extra 6k damage every time you skill 3, no matter what.
Yeah, that's.
And it doesn't
that's
matter
cool.
what element you are.
Doesn't matter what element.
Additional damage doesn't glance. It's fixed damage.
All right, I'm gonna pick Okeanos every game.
Okeanos first pick. Okeanos and Sierra first pick contested right now. Yeah,
I hate
we
Sierra.
can definitely talk about more RTA stuff if you want to catch up with RTA meta and stuff. You can just message me anytime.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah, let's go
But
on. Let's go on. Yeah, I'm just so washed, so it's interesting.
it's crazy though. Like when you think about how much has changed, even not just the last 2 years, but when you look at the last year, the last 8 months. Like 8 months is when artifacts came out. Like artifacts have not been out that long. They came out in April, I think, or May.
Yeah, I
2020.
noticed the meta changed a lot. Like the last SWC, I think I saw a ton of Velojewels, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
was
and
popular. Vigor, Molly.
oh my god, Vigor Molly.
Yeah, both of them are nerfed now. Both of them are still very good.
Well,
We've seen a lot of changes. We've seen a lot of units get buffed too. To be really, Han is insane.
yes, Han. I've seen Obabo use Han. I've seen Barian use Han. They're just.
You have Han, Gianna, Wunsa. Han, Gianna,
Absolutely.
Wunsa, Sierra, easy.
Yeah, Sierra's crazy too. Like, how come she's so much better? Because of artifacts?
Artifacts have given her a lot of improvements. So artifacts, I feel, have made units either notably tankier or have given them a lot of output of additional damage, or they allow units to go alternate builds. So what I mean by alternate builds is it's very common and very easy to build a Rika on 100 resist now, because you run a resist slot with accuracy artifacts and accuracy substats in innates. Because she gets 25 from Awaken, you only need like 50 from your subs, and then you get your rolls from artifacts to finish it out, right? But then 100 resist comes from slot 6, slot 2, and then innates on the rest of the runes. It's not that hard.
Oh, makes sense.
Artifacts have just adjusted the ability for units to become more flexible. Units can be built different ways now because they can either go more tanky, more damage, right? Like if you have a unit that has really low base defense, like a Perna, if you wanted to make a tanky Perna, you just run double flat defense artifacts, right?
Yeah, it really adds like another dimension to the game. I feel like if you're already really good with monster building with runes and stuff, and then you also implement that whole new like level, if you're like a really smart player, like it just brings your game to another level. I think
this is why we're hard stuck.
Yeah, this is why I'm washed.
This is why both of us are so hard stuck ranks. But yeah, so like all those changes, the second awakens. I guess I only have a couple main questions that I want to go over with like the returning back to the game. What are your opinions on Second Awakens? Because I don't think you were playing when they first came out.
Yeah, so I was not. I came back and saw a bunch of Second Awakenings. I think it's awesome. Like, do you remember? I remember when I quit, everyone was complaining about Ragdoll Arda, right? Like literally everyone's just complaining about Ragdoll Arda. Like there's no counter to Ragdoll Arda. But with the Second Awakenings, like Miho and Vigor, Escher,
Alucia.
like the really OP ones.
Alucia
like,
was sleeper good for a long time too.
Yeah, like I feel like there's less complaining about LDs. I haven't heard many complaints about LDs. I've heard more complaints about Vigor and Molly than Arda Ragdoll. So
yeah, I think the complaints right now lean around Chung Pung
really
and Wateryu.
Transitioned away from this guy spent so much money, so he's automatically gonna win, to look at these free to play units. You have a chance, right? So that's one big difference I've seen when I came back.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice having the options. So basically 2 and 3 star units become 4.5 stars with base stat differences and then get upgraded skills. Like I think it's incredible. I like the whole concept of everything. What do you think about ancient runes then, since we're talking about dimensional hole content?
Ancient runes I think are okay. I feel like when I left, I saw some people post like some crazy runes, but like 31 speed ungrinded runes, but those are really rare, right? I still feel like those are really rare.
I mean, they're more rare than 30 speed regular runes, right?
Yeah, so I mean, those are okay. It's not it didn't like break the game or anything like that. Yeah, I feel like the Second Awakenings really changed it, because what people build like 4 water Inugamis, right?
Yeah, 3 water Inugamis, triple Akaru for farming now. It's the standard stable team to farm with.
Yeah, and then the Grim Reapers for giants, right? So I feel like maybe it's a little bit too overpowered, because now people are just building multiple units of the Second Awakening.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
I don't know if that harms their business model or anything like that, but the meta definitely is so different. Like Second Awakening just takes over PvE and PvP. I feel like.
So speaking of farming, opinions on B12 changes. The increase, so B12 changes only 6-star runes, and they're all the same element as well. So they're all water, 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 fire, 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 dark, dark, dark.
Yeah, the B12s. Yeah, I feel like it's a good idea because I hated farming 12 hours a day back in the day, and we get like 5-star runes.
4-star runes.
Yeah,
We used to get 4-star runes.
I was like, what is going on? Like, why am I farming this? So they did a good job. I just feel like having the multiple units, like 3 to 4 commies, is the only way to do dragons. Is kind of weird.
I mean, there are definitely other ways to do dragons. Just like speed running dragons that consistently is hard to find outside of that. I will agree.
Yeah, you can't do like I've tried so many teams without
you can get about
the
a minute consistent.
And
without it, but it's hard.
It was never 100%, right?
I could never. You can get teams to 100%, but it's hard. You need to give them incredibly good runes. You can do teams like Verd, Lauren, Telor, double Rauk, or Verd, Lauren, Spectra, double Rauk. Stuff like that works. Or if you don't want to go double Rauk, you can go Rauk Light Homunculus. Stuff like that works, but it's just not as like. It's not as seamless and it's not as straightforward. Like Triple Ikadu is super straightforward. It's get these stats, you're good. Like you're 100% good. Right.
And that's what you want, right? If you're auto farming now, like that's what you want, right?
Oh, auto farming. All right, there we go. What do you think? Do you think they did it well? Overall, I don't know if you were around for all the iterations of auto farming. I think you were because they added it after artifacts came out. No, they added it with Street Fighter, right?
Yeah. So I actually came back for that because I didn't want to farm because I used to farm while I was driving, while I was working, while I was taking a shower, right?
Oh my god, dedication.
Yeah, like
don't farm while you drive, people. Don't do that.
Yeah, I always tell my stream don't do it, but
have somebody in the car do it for you.
Yes. But now you can auto farm. The only thing was I felt like if it was a slippery slope. Like a lot of games, if you have auto farm, like people are just not gonna play. People are just gonna quit because it's automated. Like that's why MMOs on mobile never work because it's basically tap tap tap, automatically do this, automatically do that, right? So I felt like if they implemented auto farm, were people gonna quit? I don't know if you remember. Shoot, I forgot his name now. He was the first to complain about changing rune drop rates and rune packs. He was really
a streamer.
Popular. I'm sorry.
Was it a streamer?
Yeah. Shoot, this is a really OG guy. Basically, he quit because he felt like, why would they sell rune packs now? Like because.
Was it Reefy?
No, some other guy. It was basically because he felt like time spent on the game meant more than like money spent on the game, and that's what he had a problem with. So
that's a pretty fair perspective. I mean, I can understand that from the player perspective, but like when you look at the business model, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, content is a business, so I see why they did it.
So I wholeheartedly agree with that. Actually, that was my biggest fear. I don't know if you watched the podcasts during your time away from the game, but we talked about that a lot. And I was actually pretty against auto farming for probably 5 or 6 months worth of podcasting discussions. And that was my perspective as well. I was like, why would I want people to, become divorced from the game, right? They no longer have to play the game. They no longer have to invest time in the game. They just click a button, walk away for half an hour. But I think that they did an incredible job because they actually didn't divorce people from the game, right? They gave them an opportunity to do things more efficiently. You can farm and do something, right? You can farm and roll your runes. You can farm and look at units, right? They managed to create a system that encourages people to spend, to farm, to improve, but also to continue to explore the game. And I just thought, I thought it was absolutely incredible. Like, hands down, the best auto farming system I've ever seen in any mobile game.
Yeah, I think I saw one podcast. I think most people were scared. I think you especially. You were on the side of auto farming is slippery slope and we shouldn't do it because what if people do it overnight, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is when there's trouble. If
Mm-hmm.
somebody can farm 24/7 overnight, right? I think you're on that
Yeah,
side.
because my perspective of that was, if we implement auto farming, I'd like it to be limited, right? For me, it was either time based or run based or whatever. But like my thought was, if you limit people to like 7 minutes, right? You can auto farm for 7 minutes and then you have to restart it. Like 7 minutes is a good mental time frame to have somebody come back to a task, right? It gives you long enough to do like part of the dishes or like, put something away, blah blah blah. But I mean, I think they did fine making it, 10 runs of whatever it is.
The
It
good
works.
thing I think they did was you can do other stuff while it's farming. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not like you're automating anything. You're still on the game and you're improving your account at the same time. So that was huge. Like the one thing they really need to do is when you plus 15 a rune, just take my mana, right? Like why do I have to watch this animation? Just take my mana. Whatever your RNG system you're using, just take it. Like doesn't matter. Just stop wasting my time with that. I think that's like the last thing that they need to do to fix.
I think so. So 1 through 3 is guaranteed, right? You're guaranteed 100% rate from 1 to 3. I think 4 to 6 should also be guaranteed, so you can just click one button instantly plus 6 a rune for the cost, because the time spent on runes, in my opinion, doesn't come from rolling the rune to plus 15. It comes from rolling the runes to plus 6 and then selling it, plus 6 and selling it, plus 6 and selling it over and over and over, because you're like, got a
Yes,
speed roll, didn't get a speed roll, got a
great
speed roll, didn't get
idea.
a speed roll. I think that
Did
would
you
save a ton of time.
did you pitch that?
I've pitched this. I've pitched all of these ideas. All of these ideas have been pitched.
Oh man, that's
But
a beautiful idea. You gotta
yeah,
they gotta implement that. That's perfect.
yeah, because it doesn't take you away from like the spending mana and this stuff. It's just like make it guaranteed from 4 to 6. It's not like you spend a lot of mana from 4 to 6 if you fail anyways. It's like such a
Yeah, exactly.
minimal
The
amount.
plus 6 determines if I want to keep this rune or not. So yeah,
Basically,
exactly.
yeah. I was on Discord with Tortilla the other day, and then we rolled 375 runes, I think,
Oh my god.
and it took all night. Like it took like 3 or 4 hours to go through all of them just to like plus 6 sell, plus 6 sell, and then
Yeah.
upgrade anything that kept going.
I mean,
Like,
after 7 years, like, can I really keep doing this for another 7 years? Like, try to make it easier for
I
them. I
say
know
that to
they
myself, but I do it every day anyways. You know,
have.
still managed to do it. Yeah, so we went over auto farming, went over B12s. We kind of lightly touched on artifacts. We talked about 2As. I guess the next thing I want to know is, what do you feel like the game could offer or let me rephrase this. What do you feel like the game offers well, but could do better that isn't something we already talked about? Because I'm sure there's something else, and I'm curious. I'm curious what your brain's thinking.
um, so I don't know if you played Raid.
I did not. I'm never going to get a sponsorship because I already told them I never would, but I hate Raid Shadow Legends with a burning passion because of their marketing.
I played Raid for a little bit, and it was just spamming me with packs, like literally harassing me and my screen with packs. It was just crazy, and I
Mm-hmm.
feel like Summoners Wars a little bit like diving into the dangerous end where they're letting you buy like a million packs, and it used to be only like what $100, and now you can spend $100 what 5-6 times.
You can
Like
do the
man,
monthly pack 10 times in a month, but it only
yeah,
gives you the legendary scroll once. And then you
man,
can there's a lot of packs. If you want to spend in the game, you can spend in the game a lot.
yeah. So that's another thing that's really different from my 2 year absence. The packs and amount of things you can buy to improve your account is extraordinary. So like if I was in SWC, shoot, you would have to spend like I don't know, like
I think
$8,000.
it's about to maintain comfortably is probably somewhere around $800 a month, because you want to buy all the reapps, you want to buy either immemorials or rune packs, and then you want to buy Devilmons, and you want to
800.
buy one of the monthly packs that gives reapps, and then if there's an event pack. So I'd say it's about 800 to 900 on month average for like a well-maintained account. Now, keep in mind, it doesn't have to be G3. Like, well-maintained could be any rank, maintaining where they're currently at. But I feel like it's more budget to alternate between immemorials and rune packs, or just only buy the one that you need more of. But reapps are non-negotiable in a sense. And
Yeah.
Devilmon are pretty much always non-negotiable if you're a high-end player as well.
Yeah, I feel like even rune packs are non-negotiable if you're trying to
They're
compete.
pretty good now. That rune box has 3 runes in it.
Yeah,
I
and then
actually,
there's
I actually just cracked rune boxes for a viewer on stream. I'm gonna make a YouTube video at it. That'll be up on Monday if you guys want to check it out. One of the packs that was purple runes gave me 4 legend runes on it.
oh my god.
I've never seen that before. I was like, did I just click a legend rune pack? Nope, it was a purple one. I got 4 legends.
Hey, you got a god rune pack, dude.
I did. I got a god rune pack. Insane. I have more questions about God Pack related, Pokemon related content afterwards. Related content afterwards. But yeah, so we're kind of talking about this. We're talking about like returning to the game and stuff. Do you feel like the game is worth returning to?
I'm literally
You can give
playing
your
for
honest
fun.
opinion. You don't have to feel like there's any pressure, bias, or anything. I truly want to know if you feel like the game is worth coming back to.
The thing is, I think the pandemic helped Summoners War a lot. Like a lot. I was watching SWC every time, even though I quit. I was just watching it because there's nothing else to do. There's absolutely nothing else to do. And then every time I watch SWC, I would come back and play for a little bit. It was just crazy itch. They do a hell of a job at SWC. I'm telling you, they do a really good job with giveaways. They do a really good job with keeping people involved, getting streamers involved. They do a very good job on that, and it is awesome to see, especially with Make It a Bud and Stoic broadcasting. They do a heck of a job, man. They're so
Yeah,
good at
it's a
it.
lot of
Yeah,
fun. It's super super fun and enjoyable.
Make It a Bud. You can just tell he's like a super smart, and he can think on the fly. Like
5 million IQ.
like this is crazy. Like I don't know if you know like football or anything. There's this guy called Tony Romo who used to play football, and now he's a broadcaster, and he predicts every single play while it's happening. So he'll be on national TV like the Super Bowl. Like he can predict every play. And I feel like Megan Bud kind of does the same thing with picks and bans. And then Stoic is such a colorful and like happy and like he brings joy, right? He brings
He
happiness.
brings a really good, strong personality to the table,
Exactly.
and
A
it
lot of
counterbalances that analytic brain really well. And they just
exactly.
have this like explosive, like it's like an explosive color bomb, but it's also like so intricate because there's so much knowledge there, and it's just like whoa. Like there's
Yeah.
a little bit of everything for everyone, right? There's the really high end level knowledge. There's the secret trash talking the player. There's the fun memes involved, and then there's the like random like comments that just come in, and it's all perfect. It works so well together.
Yeah. So but to your question, is it worth coming back to? If there was no pandemic, I don't think I would. But because there is one and there's really nothing else to do, um, I really do think they did a really good job improving the games for me to be interested enough to come back. Like I've already come back for a month now. I think that's like the longest I've ever came back. Yeah, it's like that very cliche abusive ex-girlfriend that you keep going back to.
Well, to be fair, I think that Pokemon has also helped a little bit of you coming back overall, just because that's a big interest
Oh,
for you, and
definitely.
there's and a lot of us have kind of delved into doing both, right? Like Jeff and myself, Brian's very heavy into Pokemon, Ykaz is very heavy into Pokemon as well, but still does both. Like we've all kind of delved into the both world, so it kind of has encouraged you to join us and come back.
Yeah, definitely. Like I got back into cards when the pandemic started. Like,
Yeah.
but I made a mistake. I was a Yu-Gi-Oh player. I bought so much Yu-Gi-Oh cards, so many. And it was such a big mistake because I didn't realize Yu-Gi-Oh! There's a ton of reprints and there's no tournaments going on because of the pandemic, so nobody's actively buying cards or cards won't raise in value because nobody can play. But Yu-Gi-Oh! It's not really a collecting, it's more of a playing because I myself I play all the time. So I bought all these dang Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and they come out with like constant ban lists too. So a really valuable card or a very OP card could be banned like that, and
And it
then
loses
a
a lot
card
of
would be
value.
worthless. Yeah.
Wow, that's
So
crazy. That's so scary. Oh
yeah,
man.
man. So it was like It was terrible. But yeah, and then I got back into Pokemon, got back into basketball, got back into football cards. So definitely like being part of that community also is also very important to me as well, because not only is it playing to our nostalgia, like it's also creating that I'm back into that community of Summersworth community with you guys, and
Yeah.
like
You're
it made me
passionate about something
talk
again.
to I talk to like white cuz every day now,
Hmm.
and I didn't talk to white cuz for like last time I went to New York with him and had dinner with him, and that was like a couple years ago. So it was really cool talking to him again, and everybody else like you, like
Like
in
talking about different set, like what's your favorite vintage, all these things, like just talking
yeah,
about it, right? Like,
like we haven't talked in years,
yeah,
and because of Pokemon, we're like we have this new friendship now that we never had before, even though we played Summersworth together, right?
yeah.
So it's definitely really
Yeah, it was
cool.
just like we'd see each other at events, like we'd know each other, we'd be really like nice and friendly and like have good times and like, but we didn't really like have a lot in common besides the game.
Exactly. So this is another thing bringing people
I
together.
have
So
one
it's really
last
cool.
question for you before we move on to your secret question. Um, so it kind of piggybacks off the last question. Do you think the game does a pretty good job of rewarding free to play players right now? Like, if you don't spend on the game, do you think that you can progress well in the game? Do you think the game can be fun? Do you think that the game is not as gatekeepy as it felt like in the past? Like, do you feel like they've done a good job for the game if you were a free to play player?
Yes, 100,000%. 100,000%. Before I left, free to play players were complaining left and right. There's no chance for them to do anything. Like literally, you spam one LD and it's over. Like my Gianna could beat their whole team, right? Like, my Gianna does one thing and then they'll leave the game, right? Now there's so many things for free to play. Like they have events 24/7, and there's
Mm-hmm.
sometimes two events in one time. Like when we played, there's maybe one event every holiday, like major holiday.
Yeah, there was
There'd
like
be
an
like
event every month, I think, and they
yeah,
were not usually
so
that good. They were usually pretty bad.
yeah, they're terrible. There
It
you
was
get
like
like
4 times a
some
year we'd get an
Eckler.
LD, and like twice a year we'd get a Devilmon. Every other event was like,
Yeah,
oh, legendary scroll, yay,
yeah, exactly. And now you're getting Devilmons, you're getting reapps, you're getting LD scrolls, you're getting a bunch
ancient
of stuff for free.
coins. Yeah, there's tons of stuff.
Yeah, twins are free, units are free, second awakening units are OP. Um, yeah, you can do all the content with the second awaken units.
Hmm.
There's no excuse for a free to play player anymore, and I have not heard any free to play player complain. Like it's just total 180. I feel like they did a really good job.
I'm glad to hear that you feel like that, especially coming back. Like, obviously, I feel that way as well, but I have the player bias of just watching the game for this last 6 years, and people are always like, "Well, you didn't quit. You're not free to play. Like, you're not free to play. You haven't started again." I'm like, "Yeah, but what about if I just like took a break and then like decided to come back and show people, and then I would never take a break."
So so I can give you so I have baby accounts, right?
Okay.
So because on my old account, I have baby accounts, and I can tell you 100,000% being free to play, it's fun. I can do all the content. Um, I didn't feel like if I don't need to compete, I feel like being free to play
Would be fun.
is okay. It's okay. It's fun, right? Like I can do it. Like I can play this game free to play. So it's actually really good. Like back in the day, I felt like I had to spend, I had to spend, I had to spend. But now it's like, oh, they give me all this free stuff. Like I don't need to do anything. Here we go. Just do the events. Make sure you do your swords. Make sure you do your labs.
Your
Make sure you do
wings.
your wars.
Don't
Yeah,
forget your wings, guys. Get
there
that
you go.
Devilmon every week. Don't buy the scrolls yet. Not yet. Buy them later once you finish your towers.
Always do your towers. Always get your Devilmon. Devilmon is the most important.
Hmm. Yeah, so I mean, that was awesome. I got a lot of information that I was looking for, and I got a lot of. I feel like I know you, and I feel like I know your journey through Summoners War a lot better, and I kind of understand more, like, because I was around for all of this, right? So like I only got bits and pieces, but now I feel like I understand the frame better, the whole thing. So I guess this is the opportunity now where I let you ask me whatever your secret question is. So
Okay, are you
hit
ready?
me with it. I'm ready.
All right. You your 7 years of spending on Summer's War or the TCG Pokemon, which spending is more? What have you spent more than?
Does that include my inventory that I'm selling, or does that just include my personal stuff, like collection and such?
Inventory too. Yeah.
If it counts inventory, inventory easily surpasses my Summoner's War. if it's just sealed collection, then it's probably less than half.
Dang.
About that. I think okay, so I'm pretty open about how much I've spent in the game. In Summoner's War. Now this is not an exact amount. This is an approximation. At the beginning of last year, I approximated it to about 15,000 Canadian, and I think that the first 9,000 was when Canadian was pretty close to US in terms of like dollar value. It was like 1.8 or 1.08 or something. So that was higher. And then in the last year and a half, I have spent $1,500 on the game, and all of it has been given to me via gift cards or donations on stream to buy specific packs. Normally, I don't take donations to buy packs in the game because I would rather just buy daily pack 1 and just enjoy like only buying transmogs or buying things that I want. But there are a couple people who have expressed like, I really want you to get an LD Nat 5 one day, so like here, I'll buy you some LD packs. And I'm like, you know what? Every year you've done this for the last couple of years. Sure, let's do it. You know, let's just do it. Let's have a good time. Maybe we can get one. I have 653 LD scrolls I've summoned. I've never pulled an LD Nat 5.
Oh my god.
I've counted every single one. It's never going to happen.
You still have one from your birthday like 5 years ago from that stream I watched?
No LD Nat 5. My first LD Lightning was 77 and it was Faye.
Oh my god.
And then since then, no LD Nat 5s. But I mean, I have a lot of incredible units and a lot of pretty, like, I have pretty decent runes. Like, they're not incredible, but the game is fun. The game is enjoyable. There's a lot of cool stuff. But yeah, so in terms of that, I would say I've probably spent approximately 13 to 14,000 USD on the game, maybe 15,000. But most of it has been via stream donations, because in those first 2 years before I started streaming full time, and focusing more on like actually having money and saving,
very good viewers.
It was all just donations to continue farming. So I'd spend on that, and yeah, about 14,000, maybe 15,000. I would say is the absolute max that I've spent on my account.
I think the average per LD was 5,000. So you're super duper unlucky.
Well, okay, I didn't buy a ton of LD scrolls though. That's why I count the LD scrolls specifically. I have purchased probably $3,000 worth of LD scrolls, maybe 4,000, just over the years and years. But most of it has gone to farming.
You're almost there. 1,000 more LD scrolls, you're gonna get your first one.
It's not happening. Not with Pokemon existing. Not with Pokemon existing.
Yeah, all the money is going to Pokemon right now. I love it. It's because even if you don't sell it, right, or it's just something that you love. Like it's a tangible.
As you can see behind me, I like to collect things, regardless if it's Pokemon or Summoner's War. Like I have the Artemil figure right there, the Ragdoll figures right here on top of my Unified Minds box.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Yeah, I have the giant Angelmon right there. There's a Chocobo from Final Fantasy 14. There's it's from Epic 7. You know, I have the figures above my head right there. I just like to collect stuff, man. I'm a collector through and through, given the opportunity.
Yeah, it's fun. It's really fun. So definitely, it's IRL gotcha, right? It's real life gotcha. It's Summer's War for life.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so that's your question. So my question for you, my secret question for you, is if you could only choose between either Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, or Summoner's War, and the other one would never exist in your life again, which would you pick and why?
Oof.
Because it's hard, right? Because like Yu-Gi-Oh cards is something you actively played and you really liked. Pokemon cards is extremely nostalgic and a lot of your friends are into it. But Summoner's War was a huge part of your life too.
I think I have to pick. I would keep, as crazy as it sounds, because it wasted or took most of my money without giving much back, is definitely Summoner's War, because of all the people I met and all the experiences we've had together. who knows? Maybe if we did Pokemon, like if we, there's a lot of people in TCG community as well, but I don't feel like there's anything compared to SWC or any of those meetups or the hype of summoning together. I mean, I guess opening packs together is pretty
Kind
similar,
of similar,
but
yeah.
getting that LD5 or like seeing somebody else get an LD5 right in front of your face, or I don't know. And plus, every Summoners War player shares one thing, a common thing. Everybody has that pain of summoning and never getting what they want, right? Everybody feels bad for each other. Everybody knows the pain. So,
Yeah.
so I feel like,
Yeah.
as crazy as that sounds, I would keep Summoners War. Like, as much as I talk bad about it and whatever, I will never trade what all those events and like streaming. I wouldn't have streamed without Summoners War. Like, I was really good at Dota and Counter Strike, and I always wanted to stream those games, starting from like Justin TV. But I was like really young. Like I was like 16. I didn't know how to stream. I didn't even know if we were allowed to stream back then. But definitely, Summoners War was just me, like you and everybody else at SSA, like the guilds. So many years, so many people. It's just nothing that can replace that. I feel like, even though if like we collected for 6-7 years and we had all these Charizards that were probably $100 back in the day, but now they're worth like 100K or more. Okay, never mind. I take it back. I don't know. Too hard, man. That question is too hard.
Yeah, so one of the harder parts about that is like when you look at it, the thing with Summoners War that's really unique for me at least, is that Summoners War has provided me a global connection with people. It has provided me a connection with people in different countries. I've traveled to different countries where I'm like, hey, I'm in Germany, guys. Like, anyone want to hang out? You know, you hang out with German Summoners War players. You hang out with like the German Contua staff, or it's like, hey, I'm in Australia, or I'm in Singapore, or I'm in, right? Like, you can do that with TCG, but there's just not as much of a connection with it, right? Like, especially when it comes to streaming. Like, streaming breaking is like competitive per se, because it's like you're literally competing price wise against other people, right? You're doing your content for you. However, when it comes to Summoners War, it's like we play the game because we love the game. We stream the game because we love the game. And if people are there for you and for the game, for the community, then it just builds in a different way, right? It builds in a way that's so unique to the game. I wouldn't even say it's unique to Twitch or unique to streaming. I think Summoners War communities specifically are extremely unique to Summoners War, right? I don't see this with other mobile games, right? Other mobile games don't have the kind of communities that we have in Summoners War, right? They have great Discord communities and great guild communities for top guilds and stuff like this. But like in Summoners War, we have people who literally sit in a default channel every single day and talk to the same people every single day in game. Think about that for a second. We have Discord, we have Line, you can text, we have Facebook Messenger, we have all of these incredible, I mentioned Facebook Messenger, so I can't actually say incredible, applications to talk with people like RSC systems, and people still choose to talk in game because that's the kind of community that this game has created and built. I think Summoners War is the only and probably the last game to ever effectively use the in-game chat from a mobile game.
Yeah, I really actually, when you mentioned that, that's kind of crazy where people chat in channel 65 all day or 808 or 8550 or all the SD channels.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's kind of crazy when you think about it.
Remember, we used to sit in 65 and everyone would just upgrade their runes in 65 because you wanted to show it off to everyone, right?
That was the place to be, man, back in the day.
Those were the days. All right, one last secret question because I'm curious. What is your most prized Pokemon card? Like, it doesn't have to be the most expensive one. It has to be the one that you love the most, hands
down. Most of them are at PSA right now, but there's this one card. It's the Charizard first edition, but it has a special meaning because it was sitting in a car for 20 years, and it was in a binder. Yeah, and
like in a storage unit or like in a house?
In the trunk of the car for 20 years. This is my wife's brother's. It's my brother-in-law's.
Okay.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy how he kept all these cards in that binder. And he was in the military or Air Force, so he went to like Nevada, I think. And the Nevada sun is insane. And it was just sitting in his car for 20 years. and
Is
the
it?
Charizard's pretty messed up, but a lot of these cards still came back at 8.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah. So I have to say, it just the story behind those cards. Like first, it's the nostalgic, right? It's the base set.
Mm-hmm.
It's everybody. That's when we all start Pokemon. The second is how in the world did he keep those cards in his car for 20 freaking years and never moved it?
I don't even
It's
know
just,
most people who keep a car for 20 years.
that's another thing. He had that car for 20 years. It was a Toyota Camry, and he never changed it.
That
It
car's
was
almost as old as I am.
crazy.
That's
And
wild.
it was such an amazing story. Like it was
Mm-hmm.
absolutely bonkers. So that's why it's my favorite.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I respect that. Yeah,
All
I
right, what?
actually didn't really get into collecting Pokemon when I was young. I had like a couple sets of Pokemon cards, never first edition, never a Rocket set. I think I had base set 2, maybe base set 2.
You're younger.
Yeah,
You're
1995.
25. So that's reasonable because you started later.
I think I
But
would have got my first Pokemon cards when I was 7, so it would have been 2002.
yeah, even when I started collecting, when we did have the first edition, I was still really young. Like I
Mm,
was like maybe elementary school. I remember
yeah.
people were trying to sell those for $100, and it was such a big deal that a first edition Charizard was $100. And then people would be like stealing these cards left and right because people bring them to school, and then I would never trust people with it. Like they'll, oh, can I see your binder? I'm like, no, dude, get away from me. But I just knew it was crazy. Even back then, it was kind of crazy, and now it's just
I want to mention something funny that's kind of dumb, but below me, right over there, I had a browser source for my Twitch chat, and somebody typed in my Twitch chat, and I just saw it. I was like, wait a minute, I'm recording this video right now.
are we on Twitch?
No, we're not. That's the thing. Somebody's literally in my chat right now while I'm offline typing a command in the channel, and I think that's hilarious. But
You
it's
guys
gonna
really
show up in the
understand
video,
that.
like right,
We need
right,
you to
right
come
there as
on.
a blooper.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. No, I appreciate all the conversation. I feel like I've gotten to know you a lot better, both from like a personal perspective and the game perspective. And I mean, we've connected so much with Pokemon, right? Like Pokemon is a crazy thing, and it's been
Yeah,
great for
like
all of
I
us.
was I was kind of hesitant when you asked. I was like, oh my god, do we have much to talk about?
Mhm.
But I'm like, dude, we've talked so much in the past week. Like I feel like we know each other just based on how much we love like Pokemon cards or Summoner's War, and
Mhm.
we have this common topic to share and talk about. So this was like what we talked for like an hour. I felt like we just
I think
sat
it's
and
really
talked.
good. I think the series has been really cathartic, both for me and for others. For me, in the sense of like, I live with my family, and as much as I love my family, I am very lonely here because my hours are different than everyone else's, and I really don't share that many interests with my parents anymore. And my sister's super busy with school, so it's cathartic for me that I need that kind of release to like spend time with people. But I think it's also great for the people that I interview because it gives them an opportunity to reminisce about the past, to talk about things that they haven't been able to talk about, whether it's on stream or just in general. And it also gives an opportunity to kind of just like let go of things, right? Like you talk about the past, you talk about things that you enjoyed, things you didn't enjoy, and it's just nice to kind of be reminded of it all.
Yeah,
Almost
I
therapeutic.
totally understand. Like, especially you being a full time streamer, it's hard for you to go out and do something with friends, or because you're literally spending 8 to 10 hours a day probably just streaming, and then you have to have there's like the backhanded hours where you're thinking of what to stream, right? And
Yeah.
then now we're
Planning
also collecting
content,
Pokemon cards, which takes hours as well. Like you
getting
gotta go on
inventory.
eBay, gotta get the best deals, gotta go Target and Walmart, right?
Oh,
You really have no time to
yeah.
really do anything, and it's a struggle. So being able to do these kind of things to connect with people that share that interest with you really helps create those friendships, in my opinion.
So let me get your opinion on this. So as a full-time streamer, I stream every single day, Monday through Sunday, and I stream for about 5 hours. So it's depending on the day, sometimes more, sometimes less. So it's about 35 to 40 hours a week of on camera time. But it's 7 days a week, and I've been doing it for the last 488 days.
Yeah, that's That's a
And
lot, man.
and I was stuck in the States from March 10th to December 5th of last year. I was lucky though because I was living with a streamer friend of mine, so we kind of just lined up schedules and streamed at the same time. But like, that's a year and a bit of every single day, and it's kind of crazy to me to think about it because it doesn't feel like it's been that long.
Are you tired? You need a break?
I don't know. Pokemon was the reinvigoration.
That's true. That's true. It's much funner to stream multiple things, right? It's awesome to stream Summoner one day. You can take a break and then you can stream Pokemon. Well, back in the day we streamed Summers were 24/7. Sometimes it just gets like mundane. It's just a little bit boring and it's like doing the same thing. But now with Pokemon you can switch it up and it's refreshing.
Speaking of that, for anyone watching the YouTube video, since this will be released on Friday, on Sunday, I am starting my first ever Pokemon Nuzlocke and a randomizer. So that'll be Sunday, Valentine's Day for anyone else who is like me and lonely. You can come hang out on my stream. But yeah, so we'll be doing that. There's a lot of fun chat incentives. Thinking about that as well, I haven't played a Pokemon game since Ruby and Sapphire came out. It's been that long.
Oh,
that was like around the last time I like knew anything Pokemon related.
All right, guys, everybody, please like and subscribe. If you guys like and subscribe this video, if it reaches a certain amount, OnceInLuv will sign up for a dating app. 100%.
Wait a minute. Wait, undisclosed amount. But yeah, make sure you leave a comment below on who you'd be interested in having on the series, stuff like that. Share it around. Obviously, the more we get, people on to the series, the more we can find people who are interested in this kind of concept, and maybe more people who want to come up forward and share their stories about the game. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. This is episode 2 of Experience Gained with Archr. See you guys.